And so let me tell you a little bit about John, my partner, my son. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
A philanthropist, an athlete, a dancer. And John also happens to have Down syndrome. And if you're anywhere in the U.S., if you have a disability, you can stay in the public school system until you turn 21. Mm-hmm. And this is really important because when you're in school, all of your programs and supports are right there in front of you. But once you turn 21, it's get out. You're often known as the 21-year-old cliff because you go over there and now you're on your own. And John, you were about to go over that cliff.
Yes.
So he's trying to figure out, what do I do next? But John here, he is a natural entrepreneur. If you didn't see a job you wanted, what were you going to do?
I want to make one.
Yeah, I'll make a job. I've got 3 sons. John's the youngest. And this is one I can work with. So now we're going to go create a business. So we have to figure out, what are we going to do? And what was one of your ideas?
I welcome it as a food truck.
So opening a food truck sounded like a great idea. And you start thinking what we could make and where we would put it, right? But we ran into a problem.
We can't cook.
Other than that, great idea.
John does a lot of different things. And one of them is he gives tours. And we had a business, a guy we're having some business conversations with. And when we finished, we had promised him a tour. But by this point, I wanted him out of this building. And John's giving him a tour. And I interrupted to try to cut the tour short. And John gave me one of those looks that would freeze a man. And when this guy left, we shared an office at the time. John came in the office and he picked up a notebook that has our logo on the cover. And John is the logo. And he looks at me and he looks at that and says, whose face is that? But it's yours. And then there was a sign. It's got his name on it. Whose name is that? I say, it's yours. Don't ever interrupt my tours again. And it's like, okay, I understand. We get a phone call in our office from a customer in Houston who says, I see that John in Capitol Hill, my mother works there, and she's a big fan of John's. Would it be possible for my mother to meet John? And our colleague said, sure, we'll give you Mark's cell phone number. Just text him your mom's contact information. Well, who is mom? Nancy Pelosi.
My goodness.
So now we're going to go get an audience with Nancy Pelosi. And so put aside your politics for a moment. I don't care which side you're on. Nancy Pelosi is an 80-year-old Italian grandmother. She meets John and is so warm and nice. And they're hugging and they're sharing stories and photos. It's all quite wonderful and warm.
You have a relationship with former President George W. Bush. Can you please share a little bit about that with us?
So in the spring of 2017, we saw an article about how the former president really loved crazy socks and colorful socks. And what do you say?
I want to send him socks.
John says, let's send him some socks. Understand, Dan, John says that a lot. So
I believe it.
We sent him a box of socks. And sometime later, we get a call from his office saying, the former president loved those socks. Can we get more? And then he started sending John socks.
Oh, great.
Now they're writing letters. And on World Down Syndrome Day in 2018, the former president wore John's Down syndrome superhero socks that John designed.
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. To stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast and Twitter at Catalyst_Action. Thanks for listening.